So we have looked at fundamentals. We have looked at channels of communication. And our third topic is listening skills. So today we'll be able to do two of them. We'll do listening skills. We'll also look at effective speaking skills. I will do that because last week, the topic 3 was open for all of you to interact with the platform and to interact with the content. There are two videos posted there, one on effective listening and another on barriers to effective listening skills. The intentions of those videos is that you listen to them and then you make notes. So you don't just listen, enjoy, and forget. You need to listen and make brief notes. That is just to enhance your understanding of a topic. Sometimes I'll ask you to do some kind of evaluation of a YouTube video, but in the case of the listening skills, I'd asked you to listen and then make brief notes. So I expect that your notes should now be really enhanced by what I gave you as my Word document of the notes, and also by what you were able to listen and hear from the presenter and make additions to what you have. I also have put there a considerable amount of information. The URLs, they are actually just supposed to help you do better than what you have in your notes, and make your notes much more enhanced. Now, those of you who are on the platform looking at topic 3 last week, we had a different discussion topic. This time, I decided let me make another one which we can then interact with in this lesson. Remember, the discussion topic is not something that is awarded any mark. It is just part of how you participate in the lesson. And so our discussion then, our new discussion topic for week 3 goes like this. Student, give examples of how each of the following can affect services in any of the listed professions that relate to you. What I mean is that what will good listening do to you if you are a teacher? What will poor listening do to you if you are a teacher? So I know that the professions represented on this platform include teaching, nursing, we have criminologists, we have social workers, we have scientists of various categories, we have business people. So if you are in any one of these professions, how, for example, will good listening affect your service? So let us begin with that one. And I want to ask that you chat with me. Go to the chat, say, I am a teacher. Good listening will help me like this. Poor listening will do this to my profession. So turn to your chat. Let us see what you have. First, begin by identifying what profession you are. You say a teacher. Good listening will do this to me as a teacher. Poor listening will do this to me or will affect my service in this way. So Ogeto, you have told us you are a teacher. So how will good listening affect you, or improve your profession, or poor listening? I can see, Hans, you are a journalist, but how will good listening enable your profession or enable you to succeed in your profession? Yes, I can see someone saying good listening will give me motivation in my work and vice versa. Someone is saying I'm a nurse. Good listening will help me to give proper guidance to my patients. Continue, let me see more. I'm a criminologist. It will help me be able to handle my clients, give me good feedback. Good listening will help you solve difficult problems with your clients. So I see a lot of good listening. What about poor listening? What will poor listening do to you? What will poor listening do to you? What will poor listening do to you? Boniface, we are chatting on the chat. Share with us what good listening will do to you, what poor listening will do to you. You're saying you're a scientist. Poor listening will cause you to arrive at poor conclusions. A teacher, poor listening will make you give the wrong advice to your student. You will be misunderstood. I'm a teacher, poor listening will cause me to deliver the wrong message. The teachers are saying a lot. Good listening will motivate me in my field. I am a scientist. The other professions, I'm not seeing what you're saying. I see a lot from the teachers. So thank you. What I seem to get from your responses is that good listening will help you be able to give either the right direction, the right prescription, the right instructions. It will help you guide your clients. And poor listening will lead to misunderstanding. Some people may fail to get the right prescription if it is a nurse because you did not listen. You may not be able to attend to your clients well because of poor listening. And it will cause you not to get the promotion because you are not making headway in your profession. So what seems to come from this is that good listening is something we should all strive for. Good listening is something all of us should strive for. If you don't enhance your listening, then you are likely not to make headway as a profession. As a professional, remember we are training you to be professionals. You'll be interacting with other people. There will be many people who will come to you for guidance. There will be instructions you'll need to take from your boss. If you don't have good listening skills, then there is a possibility that you will not do as expected. Let us say your boss expects you to attend to a client or to arrive at a certain time, and because of poor listening, you do not arrive at that time, and therefore you miss out on what is expected of you. So I've given you two videos, one for effective listening, another one for barriers to effective listening. Then there is something called active listening. This is the listening that enables the person speaking to you to get the idea that you are together with them, that you are actually giving them some kind of attention. You're giving them, they are likely to be getting attention from you. So I want us to look at what is captured here under active listening skills. Active listening skills. Some of the things you can do to show that you're actively listening is to signal using visual cues like nodding or focusing on the speaker. Then you're doing what we call active listening. You can also avoid interruptions. For example, someone is speaking to you and you are looking at your phone or you are handling some other things around you, then you are not actively listening. Eye contact becomes an important aspect in active listening. Eye contact. I know that as Africans, we don't do a lot of eye contact. That is because of our culture. For example, if you look at an elderly person in the eye, then they are likely to feel that you are disrespecting them. If you are a young person, let us say or a person of the opposite gender, and they look at you in the eye, then you're likely to feel some kind of shyness because it's not part of our culture. But when you get to other cultures, like the cultures of the West, of Europe, of America, you realize that they do a lot of eye contact because that is part of what we call active listening. You show the person that you are with them, you are focusing, you are interested in what they're saying, and you're going to work on it. Another thing you need to do as part of active listening is not to interrupt the person that is speaking to you. The person is saying something, you need to wait for them to speak to the end. You do not speak back as they are involved in the process of speaking to you. I know that you must have read some of that. What I'm sharing with you is 6 active listening skills. We're saying number 1, pay attention. That is focus on what is being said to you and focus on the person speaking to you. Number 2, withhold judgment. So you don't begin to judge the person as they're speaking to you. You do not know the end of what they wish to communicate. Then we're saying another thing is to reflect. That means to think about what they're saying. Think about what they're saying. That means putting meaning or associating meaning or equating meaning to what they're saying to you. Then there is clarifying. Sometimes when you're listening to someone, you want to be sure that you have heard what they're saying. An example was given to us in the notes here. For example, someone is saying something to you and then you tell them, wait a minute, let me see if I'm understanding what you're talking about. Then you restate what they are saying to you. That is part of clarifying. You're trying to see whether you actually have understood what they were telling you or not. Another is to summarize, and this summary is usually in your head and sometimes you verbalize it. You say, for example, the person was telling you to undertake a certain activity or do a certain task. Then you repeat that to them, but in a summary, in the form of a summary. You say, for example, you want me to go to the farm and dig the bean, to weed the beans, and then pick the leftover from the harvest of the maize, and then bring this to the cow shed. You have summarized what they have said to you so that you are able then to follow up and to accomplish what they have said. And this can apply very well. For example, when your lecturer is giving you instructions, they are saying, I want you to go to the library, do ABCD, perhaps refer to this and that. It is important that you summarize it in your head And sometimes if you have an opportunity, let us say you're having a face-to-face talk with your lecturer, then say, let me see if I have got you correctly. You are saying I go to the library, I pick this book, I make these notes, and then I bring the notes to you. Is that what you have said? That is part of what we mean by summarizing. And then you share this information with the person who has spoken to you. That is part of what we call active listening. And it has benefits. It has benefits. For example, it facilitates a greater understanding because now, because you seem to have summarized what was said to you, what ends up to happen is that you understand clearly what this other person was saying. We are also saying that it conveys the message about what others, it conveys the message that what others have to say is valuable. If I'm listening and I tell you what you have said to me, then it shows that I have actually been listening to you and I value the kind of information you are sharing with me. Another thing is that it creates psychological safety. Being a thoughtful listener, asking questions, seeking clarification, encourages others to share with you, and it reinforces the relationship between the two of you if you are colleagues, or let us say you're in a relationship, this is your friend. It enhances psychological safety. They feel safe with you. It also enables you to provide feedback. When you do active listening, you can provide feedback because you actually have an idea of what you are sharing or what you are speaking to the other person. So these are things I said in the beginning, that communication skills is not just for the exam. We must be able to practice what we learn. So begin to practice active listening. It enhances what you are hearing. It enables you to retain the information that is being shared with you. Now, today I want us to focus on effective listening, because effective listening and effective speaking and effective listening have some kind of connection. We speak to be heard. We listen because someone is speaking to us. And these are two key activities that you will have to undertake as a student in an institution of higher learning. There will be many opportunities for you to listen. In fact, most of the times you will be listening to your lecturers. They will speak and they may allow you to speak back, or they may allow you to give them feedback in the form of speaking. But many times you will be listening. That is why you need to enhance your listening skills. Before we move on to effective speaking, I've just remembered that in my notes, I've made a distinction between hearing and listening. These two are different. I know that many people feel that when they say I am hearing you, that then they mean I am listening to you. But these two are not the same. Both of them involve the ears. Both of them will begin with good hearing or with good ears that are in good condition. But then, as you continue examining these two aspects or these two habits or activities, you will realize that they are not the same. Hearing is an activity that involves the ears, such that the sounds come to your ear, they hit the eardrums, the eardrums vibrate and send a signal to your brain. The brain then goes ahead to make an interpretation of that which has come to them through the vibration. When we are hearing, we do not necessarily have to focus. And that is where listening comes in. When we listen, we focus on what is being interpreted by our brains. For example, I know that some of you are out there attending to this lesson. There could be two groups of people attending to this lesson. There are those who are hearing, and there are those who are listening. Those who are hearing, what this means is that the information is coming to them, but they are not attaching any meaning to the information. They are not focused. In the event that someone passes nearby whom they know, they will want to speak to them. By any chance, if there is a vehicle passing by, they will want to focus on the vehicle. If there is any sound near them, like the sound of birds or the sound of others who are discussing nearby, this person who is hearing will want to also shift their attention to such noises. That is a person who is hearing. But a person who is listening will focus. They will focus in a certain direction. For example, if it is listening to this lesson, then they will focus on what is being spoken or what is being shared. If they want to listen to their friends in a discussion session, then they will focus on the person who is speaking. That person who is focusing is actually listening. So listening begins again from the ears. The sound comes to the ears, hits the eardrums. It is relayed to the brain. And then the brain begins to apportion some kind of meaning to what has come to the brain. So the brain says, you are now in a lesson, and the lesson is about listening skills. The lecturer is sharing 5 points about listening. The lecturer is sharing about active listening. So the person begins to now focus on those 5 aspects that are being shared. The person then is listening. They are putting meaning to what is coming to their ears and therefore to their brains. So I want to say this, that students, anytime you are in a space where you need to be listening, you should know that it demands focus. You should know that it demands a decision. You need to make a decision to focus on what is being spoken to you. But anytime you have no reason to be listening, then what will happen is that you'll be hearing sounds. And that is when you may end up forgetting what you hear. A person who is listening is likely to remember what they hear, but a person who is just hearing may forget. So every time you are, let us say, in a lecture room, you are in a group discussion, you are listening to a lecture online, it is important that you focus, you decide that you want to get some information that will be useful, let us say, to your study or to your understanding of the concept or the topic. It is also important for you to know, give me a minute. Hello. Yes. I am in a class, just a semester. I'm sorry for that interruption. It is important for you to know that you must cultivate your listening skills. And in the notes, I've given you ways in which you can do this. You can ensure that you have a place where you are taking brief notes. Ensure that you are in a space where you can see the speaker and get what they are sharing with you clearly. Ensure that there are no distractors around you. You have put off your phone, for example, or if you have friends who want to share with you stories, perhaps you can tell them when they can share with you those stories, because at the moment you wish to focus on the lesson. You can ensure that your ears are in good condition, because we are saying listening involves focus. And you can only focus when your ears are in good condition. If, for example, your ears are defective, then you need to seek medical attention so that you are attended to, and then you can then be able to focus on what you are hearing and be able to put meaning to what you are hearing. So those are some of the things you need to be keen about. And I know that the YouTube videos have given you many more other barriers that may arise when you are in a listening situation. So today we are on speaking skills, and there will be opportunities for you as a student to speak. Of course, you speak when you are with your colleagues. You speak when you are in a group, when you are undertaking a group task. And I know you have already begun doing group work, an example of which you did make a presentation to me during our last topic. There will be opportunities for you to do what we call tutorial presentations. The lecturer may give an assignment and ask that as a group you work on the assignment, and then you come to class and share your findings. Those will be opportunities for you to speak. Sometimes in an institution of higher learning, we have what we call conferences, where you can make a presentation. Great ideas have come out of people who share in conferences, because none of you is devoid of great ideas. You have great ideas, which when you share, they can become, they can either earn you some money, earn you some accolades, you can get some kind of recognition because of the great ideas that you have. Sometimes we have seminars at the academic levels, or even in clubs or organizations that you may find yourself as a member. Now, what happens is that it is important for you to know that every speaker you have ever listened to begins from some point of building their confidence. There is no person who is born as a great speaker. They build their confidence to enable them be able to share information with many people and be able to satisfy the needs, the information needs of their audience. So you have therefore to make it a habit to practice speaking. I know most of the professions represented on this platform will involve speaking at a certain point. Teachers will most likely, you will require to speak. You'll speak to your students, you'll speak to colleague teachers, you may be invited to speak in other fora where teachers or even parents will be gathered. If you're a nurse, there will be an opportunity to speak to your patients, to speak to, let us say, the doctor. Sometimes you may go to a community and share information regarding issues of health. If you are a criminologist, there will be opportunities when you need to educate the public about certain issues that relate to criminal justice and other practices that are related to your profession. A social worker, the same. If you are a scientist, you have come up with a scientific innovation, there will be an opportunity for you to speak about this innovation, because the innovation does not remain with you always. You must go to share it out so that it makes sense to other people. So you will need to speak. You are a person involved in the world of business. In the world of business, you will do a lot of sharing of information. We know businessmen as people who sell ideas. They sell products. So that means they must have a language. They must have an opportunity to therefore to speak. And when you are in such a space where you are expected to speak, it is important that you understand that speech making involves certain preparations. We begin with understanding types of speeches. We have what we call informative speeches. These are speeches that shed light on a subject. They provide information to the audience. This could be like a report, a briefing, or an explanation. And this can be across any profession, all these professions that are represented here. We have what we call persuasive speeches. These are speeches made to bring change or meant to convince the audience in a certain direction. So the person speaking has to ensure that they have enough claims or points that will convince the audience towards a certain direction. And in my notes, I've given an example of a political campaign. When the year of elections comes, we hear a lot from anyone who wishes to get our vote. They will come to us, they will share their manifesto, they will tell us what they will do for us. They will sometimes malign their opponents. They will tell us what is wrong with their opponents, so that we begin to favor them, or we look at them in a favorable way and therefore vote for them. So during campaigns, what is happening is persuasive speaking. In a situation where we have a sales promotion, a person is selling a product, then the person has also to look at the good side of their product, be able to share this with the audience to persuade them either to buy or to begin using a certain product. I know that there are so many such instances where we buy things out of what we hear. For example, you come across a salesperson telling you that if you buy this toothpaste, it will turn your teeth white and all your teeth will be aligned properly. And then you begin to think about your teeth, perhaps they are brown in color or they are misaligned. That means they are not properly formulated in your mouth. They don't have a proper dental formula. And you begin to believe that if you use this product, your teeth are going to be aligned properly and they are going to turn white. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, issues to do with the teeth alignment, that is more of genetics, and no toothpaste will do that. But sometimes we fall for those sales advertisements because of the language used, the persuasive language used that makes us to take the product and think that it will work for us. Mostly ladies will be culprits in this instance. For example, they come across someone selling facial oil or some oil that the person claims will make the hair very long. And the lady will buy, of course, hoping that their hair will grow longer. This may happen or may not happen. But because of the persuasive language, some money is exchanged and a product is taken home. Now, every time we're talking about speeches, we have what we call speech delivery methods. Speech delivery methods. And it is important for you to understand them so that anytime you're called upon to make a speech, then you can be able to select the most appropriate method that will be able to deliver your information to your audience. The first one is the impromptu method. And this usually happens when you are invited to say something. Usually you're not told what topic you will address. You're not even given the direction in which you should speak. You're not even sometimes given the time limit within which to make your presentation. You're simply invited to come and say something. Now, a good speaker will be able to look at the situation. What is the occasion? And then they come up with information which they can share. A good speaker will also limit the kind of information they will share. They will also limit the time they will take so that you're not sharing too little or too much information. Because if you share too much, then your audience is likely to get bored. If you share too little, they will be left without some vital information which they require. So a good speaker, when called upon to make an impromptu speech, looks at what is the occasion, then they decide on a direction to take. The impromptu speech has its advantages and it has its challenges. All these are shared in the notes. The second speech delivery method is the memorized speech method. And this one is such that the speaker is given time to gather information, to prepare their speech. Either they can write it down or they can compose it. They are also given the time limit within which they should present their speech. So the speaker goes out and does what we call topic research. Sometimes they even do audience research so that they understand clearly whom are they going to make a presentation to and what kind of information they should share. Now, again, this kind of speech method has its advantages and it has its challenges as evident in the notes. The last speech delivery, the second last is the manuscript delivery method. This one is quite similar to the memorized speech method. And the only difference between them is that in the memorized speech method, the speaker commits the speech to memory. That means they cram the speech. And then they are able to talk about it from their memory. But when we come to the manuscript, the speaker reads from a written speech. And again, we have said that these two will have its challenges and advantages. Because when you're reading your speech, there are things that will happen. For example, the audience may not give you so much confidence because listening to you, some people will feel, why can't you just speak from memory? Why should you read? Speaking from a manuscript may also allow you to share information as you had captured it. That means you do not stray from what you had prepared, and what you're sharing will, of course, be researched information. The information is researched. The information is likely then to be relevant to the audience that you're sharing the information with. The last method is called the extemporaneous speech method. It has a lot of similarity with the manuscript and the memorized speech method, in the sense that the three of them, you will be given a topic, you will be given the time limit, you will be allowed to research on the topic. While the memorized speech method requires you to commit the speech to memory, and the manuscript requires you to write down the speech and then read it, in the extemporaneous, the speaker may write down the speech and then pick certain points, key points, which they then use when they are making the speech presentation. So when they come up to the podium to speak, they will not have a page of information. Instead, they will have a number of points, which then they can expound on and illustrate and explain further to enable the audience to understand. Now, because of that, the extemporaneous speech method allows the speaker to make use of the stage. The speaker can be able to move on the stage because what they have in their hands are a few points which they can then elaborate on. Unlike the manuscript, where the speaker is confined to the space where they are making their speech from. They cannot even raise their eyes from the written speech because they may lose track of where they were before they raised their eyes. In the memorized speech type, the speaker may not also use the stage a lot because they want to minimize movement so that they can keep track of what they have in their memory. So that makes the extemporaneous speech delivery method as one of the most preferred speech methods. So that when you are going to make a speech, it would be good for you to do your research, write down your speech, and then pull out the key ideas. When you are presenting your speech, then just expound on the points. So again, this speech method has its challenges, it has its advantages, which are found in our notes. A very important thing to remember is that all speeches are not the same. And I'm sure you have listened to a number of speeches. All speeches are not the same. We have speeches which are effective, and we have speeches which are not effective. At this point, I want you to go to the chat and help me to understand what can make one speech enjoyable and what can make another speech boring. What are some of the things that can make a speech enjoyable, and what are some of the things that can make a speech boring? Let me hear from the chat. Someone is saying use of humor, involving the audience, that is right. Fluency, cracking jokes, that is a good one. It makes a speech interesting. Someone is saying use of songs. Not all speeches will require songs unless it is an oral narrative. An oral narrative will require songs. Someone is saying use of gestures, that is right. Facial expressions, eye contact, that is right. Someone is saying poor turn taking. When you're giving a speech, you're not allowing other people to speak, so there is no need for turn taking. Someone is saying repetition makes a speech boring. I will say I beg to differ with that one. Someone is saying use of impolite language that can make a speech to be boring or not enjoyable. Involving the audience is very important. Someone is saying use of stories. Yes, stories involving bringing in short stories that are relevant to the speech is something that can make the speech interesting. Someone is saying voice modulation. That is great. Voice modulation means you vary the voice. Pausing proverbs, I am not very sure, because if you're giving a speech, let us say if you're making a presentation in a group discussion or before your lecturer, you will not need to bring in proverbs, because proverbs may not be relevant. Someone is saying use of vivid imagery. That is right. Vivid imagery. Audibility. Audibility, that is great. Using too much words to explain can make your speech boring. Inaudibility. If people cannot hear your speech, then it becomes boring and it does not leave a mark in the mind of your listeners. There's someone here who is saying use of the correct tempo. Otieno, Emma, that is right. Someone is saying use of correct gestures. Nancy Wanyonyi, you are right. There is a possibility of using gestures that are also wrong. You're using gestures that are, let us say, they have the wrong connotations. Then that means that your audience will be confused, or they may not even understand what you're talking about. Esther Amoit, I don't know what you mean by formal intonations. What you mean by formal intonations? I would have loved a bit more of explanation on that. Ravin, Juma Baraza, you're saying absence of story making. Thank you for your views and thoughts. It is true that one speech can be interesting and another one can be boring, and we're going to see that. But I want to share with you what are the characteristics of an effective speech. An effective speech is clear. That means there is use of appropriate language, use of simple language that is not confusing or full of big words, good voice projection, use of a visual aid will help the message to be clear. That makes an effective speech. And then brevity, you should confine yourself to a few points. You don't give a very long speech, which will then turn out to be boring. There should be coherence of ideas. Ideas should flow logically and should be connected to one another, especially if you're making an argument. There should be a good flow, a logical flow of your ideas. An effective speech is one where there is an association of ideas. You associate the new ideas to those that are familiar. That means you draw on what the audience could know, and then you bring in your new idea. An effective speech should be grammatical. Whichever language you're using to share or to bring out your speech, it should be grammatical. We don't just talk about grammar in English. It can be, even when you're speaking in Kiswahili, let it be grammatical Kiswahili. If it's in mother tongue, let the language be grammatical. Then we're saying it should be interesting The speech should be interesting, and that is where you bring in non-verbal cues. You will use demonstrations. You will use light moments like bring in jokes, bring in warm-up activities, involve the audience. And then lastly, we're saying an effective speech will make use of visual aids. These are materials that support the verbal information. You could use a chart, you could use pictures, you could use slides, PowerPoints, so that the audience is not just listening to you, but they also have something they can look at that makes an interesting and effective speech. Now, there is a very important person called the speech presenter. The speech presenter is one person that we need to watch every time either you are invited to give a speech or you are listening to a speech. It is important to watch this person. An effective speech presenter, number one, knows their strength and weaknesses. Everybody has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. Let me look at strengths. There are people who have very good spoken language. They are very articulate in their language. There are people who have very good voice projection. They don't even need a public address system. When they stand up to speak, they simply use their voice, their natural voice, to be able to reach as many people as possible. Those are strengths. There are people who are very organized when they're giving a speech. They will give point one, follow it with point two, and explain them as they go along. So a good speaker knows their strengths. A good speaker also knows their weakness. I said that no one is born as a good speaker. We all must develop our speaking skills and speaking abilities. And so we have weaknesses. There are people who have a lot of anxiety. When they stand to speak, most likely in the first few minutes, they will shake and tremble and sweat, and sometimes even lose direction of what they wanted to say. That is a weakness. And if you know it, if you know that you have it, it is something that is biological, it is something that is natural, because one of the most scaring things is the eyes of human beings. When you look at the eyes of human beings, you are not able to tell what they are thinking about you. So it causes anxiety. And when we are anxious, those students of biology will tell you, we respond. We respond by either having our hearts palpitating more times than normal. And when they do that, some people will begin to sweat. Some people will tremble. Some people will have their eyes turn red. There are people who will even have their stomach will begin to rumble. They will become uneasy. That is part of the reaction that comes out of the anxiety that you have because of standing before people. So every speaker you know of, however good they are, they usually suffer some anxiety. But for some people, it becomes a total weakness when they are not able to overcome this weakness, when they are not able to overcome their anxiety and go on and share information. There are some people who have the weakness of speaking too fast. When they begin to share information, they are not able to control how the words come out. It's as if the words are competing to come out of their mouth. So they speak very fast. There are some people who have low voices, just naturally. That is their natural self. Even if they try to shout, they cannot. Their voice is low. That is a weakness. There are some people who have mother tongue interference. Every time they try to speak, let us say, in English, their mother tongue always competes to show itself. And therefore, they end up making mistakes that are connected to their mother tongue, what we call mother tongue interference. It is important for you to know your weakness. And we know our weaknesses so that we can then work to mitigate them. For example, if your voice is low and you know it, then look for public address system, or ask your audience. If they are not very many, ask them to be silent so that they can be able to hear you. If you speak too fast and you know it, people have told you that you speak too fast, then it is important that you moderate your speech. If you have mother tongue influence and you know it, then it is important for you to be ready for people to laugh, but you know it and you know there is nothing you can do about it. Perhaps you can even explain yourself. You can say, usually my mother tongue likes showing itself every time I am called upon to speak, so that as the people laugh, they will also go along with that information that you have mother tongue interference, and they will not laugh at you as if you had not declared it to them. So every speaker knows their weakness and they work to mitigate them. They go around it. Another thing is a good speaker, an effective speaker, usually does what we call audience research. They find out who is their audience. Which type of gender is my audience? What is the size of my audience? What is their educational background? What is their religious background? What is their political affiliation? The reason why an effective speaker will do this is so that they can align their speech to their audience. I usually give this example. If you went to Luo Nyanza, for example, and you're giving a speech and you said Baba, and you made a speech and you said Baba, bure kabisa, I'm sure that you will come back disfigured, because that is the space where Baba reigns supreme. So if you go there and you begin to speak ill about Baba, his political children will either stone you, and they are very good at using stones. So they will stone you. You will come back with your dental formula disorganized. If you went, let us say, to Northeastern, and you were sharing information and you began to say, I don't like Al-Shabaab, or I don't like the Islamic religion. If you're not killed, then you will escape with injuries, because you're speaking to a people whose religious inclination is Islamic. They value their religion. Sometimes they even associate with those Al-Shabaab. They could even be their relatives or their friends. And you are busy saying, I hate anyone called Al-Shabaab, or anyone who subscribes to Al-Shabaab or to Islamic religion. So it is important for you to know whom are you speaking to for you to be an effective speaker. An effective speaker engages in what we also call topic research. They go out of their way to look for relevant, beneficial information to share with their audience. They don't just share the normal, the obvious, which the audience can even get for themselves. They go out of their way to look for current, relevant, beneficial information, so that when they are sharing with the audience are then captivated, they are keen, they can listen with interest, and they can even benefit from what they're hearing. An effective speaker will dress appropriately for the occasion. They do not take it for granted that they are going to be sharing with an audience. They dress appropriately. And by appropriate, I mean that they dress in a way to suit the type of audience they are going to be speaking with. Someone can say, I have washed and ironed my trouser very nicely and my shirt very nicely, and so I am ready to present to this elderly group of people. But look at how this trouser has been worn. Is it hanging midway? You are behind, or it is captured in the right place and secured with a belt? Because if it is hanging midway, then there is a possibility that your audience will not be impressed, especially if they are an elderly audience. Or you come to them, you have combed your hair very nicely, you have blown it out, it is standing, it is long hair, it is standing, it is clean. You have combed it very nicely on your head. But when they listen to your name, you say, my name is Barnabas Weyusia, for example. So they expect that Barnabas Weyusia should not be having long hair. And here you are, your hair is clean, it is well combed out, but it is very long. It is standing as if it is the hair of Beatrice. So they begin to wonder, did you say your name is Beatrice or you said your name is Barnabas? And they begin to form a barrier to your message. So it is not just about having clean clothes or having a good appearance. How are you looking like in the face of your audience? Avoid exposing clothes. Avoid clothes that will be too shouting, so that the audience is captivated by the color of your clothes and they forget your message. It is important that you dress to suit the occasion. An effective speaker will use their voice effectively. I remember one of you talking about voice modulation. They will look at the quality of their voice. How loud or how soft is the voice? What is the pace? Not too fast or not too slow? How is the punctuation? Are the words properly stressed and intoned in the right way? Because when we give a speech, we use our voice and we use language. So language has to be taken care of when you're preparing to make a speech. An effective speaker makes use of non-verbal cues. That means they will accompany their verbal information with non-verbal information. That will include gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, stage management, and proper posture. How you stand on the stage speaks a lot about the kind of person you are as a speaker. If you choose one corner of the stage and you sit and stand there, the message being communicated is that I am shy and I just want to be in this corner. If you stand on the stage with your hands in the pocket, it communicates a message that you are proud and you don't care about the views of your audience. If you stand on the stage and your eyes are, or you are totally, or most of the time you're facing the ground that is below you, then you're communicating the message that you are shy. You're even shy about the message you're trying to share. It is important that facial expressions, gestures, and all other things are aligned to your verbal information, and then you will be an effective speaker. We're saying an effective speaker should make use of visual aids. Visual aids are those things that support the verbal information. It could be a chart, it could be a picture, it could be realia, that is a real object that you're brought to the speech occasion. And you use them to support what you're saying. It helps to a certain level to enable your audience connect what they are hearing with what they can see. And finally, we're saying an effective speaker knows how to handle stage fright. Let me talk about stage fright. Stage fright is this reaction. It is this reaction that comes about when you are faced with a situation that results in anxiety. And I remember saying that when you are standing before people to share information with them, and they are all looking at you and waiting expectantly, there is a possibility that anxiety will develop within you. So some people will begin to shake, some others will sweat, the others will have a tummy rumbling, and some people will just become confused. They even forget what they wanted to share. In some extreme cases, people even forget their name while in the process of suffering from this, which we call stage fright. However, there are a number of things you can do to ensure that you mitigate stage fright. Number one is prepare your speech adequately. You have been invited to give a presentation. Ensure that you prepare for it. Do audience research, do topic research, revise your speech, and even if possible, present your speech to someone who will listen and critique the speech. Number two, include light moments. When you are making your presentation, bring up jokes, warm-up activities that can be able to take away the stress, the anxiety from you and even from the audience. Then involve the audience in the presentation by asking questions, asking them to make additions or to provide examples, things like that will help will minimize your talking time. Because when other people are also talking, then you take that time to also breathe in and you release some of that anxiety. Number four, we're saying use a visual aid to support your verbal information. When the audience is looking at the visual aid, then you can take that time also to release some of the anxiety. They are not looking at you per se. They are now also able to look at something else. We are saying use nonverbal cues. Burn up nervous energy by taking deep breaths. And also think positively about your message. Do think positively about your message so that at the end of it all, it is not a time when you're feeling like you're going to collapse or you're thinking that you will not be able to do to make the speech well. It is a time when you're saying, I am sharing important information and people are going to benefit from what I have. I am a master in what I'm going to be talking about. And the people in front of me need this information. And when you do that, then some of that anxiety will go away. So we have looked at these three key components of an effective speech. We said we have what we call the speech delivery methods. We have looked at an effective speech and also at the speech maker or the person who is going to be giving the speech. And in my notes, I've given you information about the audio, the visual aid, and most importantly, how to use it. A visual aid like a picture, like a chart, will support your information only if it is visible to your audience. So make a visual aid that is visible. Don't make a very small one that cannot be seen at the back of the room where you are making the speech. Again, also make put the visual aid in a place where it is visible. It can be viewed from very far. Ensure that the visual aid agrees with the spoken information or the verbal information so that the audience is not confused. What they see is also what they are hearing, so that they can put this together and then it can enhance their understanding. A good visual aid should stay up for a good time. You don't just put it up and pull it down. It should remain up there for some time so that your audience can be able to interact with it. They can look at it, they can connect what they are hearing with what they can see. So display it for some bit of time. And a good visual aid is that one that is written in good font size. It is made with attractive colors. It is made from locally available materials and that kind of thing. So I want to say this, that in looking at effective speaking, it will be a good idea. It will be a good idea for you to not only know the things that are required in making a good speech, but it will also be important for you to be able to make use of these things that you are learning. Try them out. If you have an opportunity, speak to your class. There are moments when you can be called upon, or sometimes you can even call yourself. You can make yourself someone who is sharing information in class, so that you can now be able to interact with the eyes of your audience. Those who are going to be teachers, for example, there is no way you're going to land in a class for the first time and expect that you'll make it. You must practice. And I'm grateful for Kibabi University. It gives you a lot of opportunity to practice. Take time and practice speaking to your colleagues. Don't just be this kind of person who comes to class and you're always silent and you never say anything and you never do anything. You're the silent listener in every conversation. Take time and even go in front of the class and even just greet them. Because when you do that, it gives you an opportunity to speak. Now, one of the videos that I've given you to listen to and which I want you to interact with is a video by It is a video by one of my favorite actors. It's called Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is also a motivational speaker. And there are many, many speeches that he has made. And this particular one, he makes a speech. And there are certain things that as you listen to his speech, I'll want you to find out how he makes his speech, to be effective. There was someone who talked about repetition, and I said I will beg to differ, because repetition, as long as it is well thought out, it can make a speech effective. So I'll want you to listen to this Denzel Washington speech. And those of you who aspire to be motivational speakers, those who aspire to be leaders, because I know that there are leadership opportunities available for you in Kibabi University. You need to understand how to make an effective speech, a speech that can get you either support or get you ideas or get you to another level. It is important for you to listen to good speech makers, and Denzel Washington is one such speech maker. I want to end this lesson at this point, but I want to say this, that under listening skills, under the topic listening skills, there is, under the topic listening skills, there is our weekly quiz. This quiz will be available to you by the end of this week, no, by mid of this week. On 3rd, today is 1st, this will be available to you. Let me show it to you so that you can see that there is a quiz. Remember, these quizzes are cumulative. There is a quiz here on listening skills. It will open on Thursday, 3rd October at 4:30 p.m. It will close at 5 p.m. A good number of you are saying, I cannot access the quiz. Visit the Odell office, ABB 101, and share your challenge with the technical staff that are there. No one is going to accumulate these cut marks for you. You must accumulate them yourself. So we already have one cut mark from our quiz 1. Throughout this course, there will be a number of quizzes. I will tell you which quiz adds to your cut mark. For example, the group task that we did in last time will not add up to our cut mark. However, this quiz on listening skills will add up to your cut marks. So anyone who missed the first quiz, there is nothing we can do. You missed. So continue preparing for the rest of the quizzes, and you prepare by going through the content of the topic and making yourself available where there is good internet connectivity. Don't go and lie on your bed in your hostel and expect to be able to undertake this quiz. You must be around Kibabi University where there is adequate internet coverage, and so that you can be able to undertake this quiz. Let me hear any of your questions or issues on the chat. I don't want to unmute them. They will make a lot one by one.
Just try someone who raised their hand. Philip Sam, your hand is raised. If you have anything to say, unmute yourself. Philip Sam. Hope, unmute.
Some of us
Yes, Hope.
on that day at 4 will be having a class at 4:30.
You speak up. I think the lecturer is not getting you.
Some of us on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. will be having a class.
When does that class end?
Not sure.
Yeah, I can see some people are saying that that Kibabi internet is weak. I think that is a story you're telling me.
When is the class ending, though?
I'm not sure.
Hope, you're saying you're not sure. How do you want the lecturer to assist you if you're not sure when the class is ending?
I can see a number, but the class will end at 5. So if we move it at 5 and you have any challenges, what will happen to you?
Let's push it at 5 on Thursday.
Okay, I am advised by the technicians that we can move it to 5 on Thursday. If the lecturer extends, kindly tell them that you'll be having a cut online from 5. So is that better? We cannot push it to 6, John Kipsang, because in the event you have challenges, where will you go? We cannot do it on Saturday. We have no support from the technician.
Well, Mark, unmute yourself. Well, Mark.
Yes, thank you. The lesson was good, and we are very happy for the push because it will allow us to be okay, because we have the lesson at 2 to 5, and pushing it to 5 will be okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it has been pushed to 5. There's no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Ambrose, unmute yourself. Ambrose Wangili.
Okay, I want to thank the lecturer. The lesson has been good. And my question is that last card, most of us, we didn't manage to do that work at the scheduled time because of some internet weaknesses. Even if we come closer to the Kibabe internet, still the internet was still disturbing. So if there will be some inconveniences that will arise, then let the lecturer extend the scheduled time. Thank you.
That was even extended last time. So we'll be on the lookout to see if the challenge will arise again. So don't worry about that. Glenn Omondi, unmute yourself.
Thank you. The question I was to ask, sir, my
Yes.
fellow has asked it, because we are loaded at the internet when we are many at the internet, so there's a jam.
Yeah, actually, you are supposed to do it from a distance, because when you come close and all of you are hanging to the booster of Safaricom, then there's a high likelihood that it will also have a jam. And that's why we always advise to be spread out. But given that most of you want to use free Wi-Fi, we also have no alternative to that. We'll allow you to move close and use the Wi-Fi. But it's advisable that at least you are at some distance where you are not congesting that particular access point.
Thank
but you
you,
can
sir.
do it at your own convenient. If you feel like moving close, there's no problem. We'll check at the Shikuku Boniface, unmute yourself. Okay, Philip Kipsang.
Yes, sir.
Sir, hope you are getting me clear.
Yes, just go ahead. We will talk later. Just wait. Kipsang?
Sir, yes, sir. Hope you are getting me clear.
Yeah.
Okay, I had just a proposal at first, but internet was disturbing, so I had to come at this time. But I'm proud that the correction has been made in that the cut has been extended up to 5. It's only that, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see who else. Let me see. You can see a lot of hands raised up. We might not address everything. Let me unmute William. William Odhiambo?
Okay, my question was, you said that we should convert a document to PDF. How?
Okay, I'm showing you how to convert.
Hello?
Let me just show everyone how to convert. Let's check the screen. I'm sharing the screen. I'm sharing my screen. Let me share the screen. I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay. Are you seeing my? Oh, I don't know. Anyone to give me a response on the chat? I don't want to unmute you people. Are you able to see my screen? I want to see from the chat. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So once you've typed, I recommend that you actually use, you can type on your phone and then you transfer that work on some laptop so that you can convert your work to PDF. One, we say that the document should be a running document. The document should be a running document, which means the memo, it was supposed to be, the memo, the letter, and the CV were supposed to be on the same document. For example, this is Microsoft Word. Let me open a new Word document. I just say new Word document. So the first page, this was supposed to have the memo, for example. Let me zoom so that you are able to see it properly. This is the memo. This page 1. Let me put here. Okay, the first page was supposed to be with your registration numbers, reg numbers. That's the first page. Then let's say we go to page 2. I'm just pushing this to page 2. This is page 2. It has the memo. And then from there, you push again to page 3. Everything on the same page, not having different documents. Again, this is my page 3. Now this one has the letter, application. And then the last page was supposed to have the CV. So you are supposed to have typically 4 pages, CV. So you can see these are 4 pages. Ukiangalia hapa chini, page 4 of 4. So these are 4 pages. First one with your registration numbers or details. Number 2, memo. Number 3, application letter. And then the 4th one was the CV. So after you've done this, you come and say file here. Then you say save as. Hapa kwa save as. Then you choose where to save. Let me choose, I want to save on the desktop. For example, I want to save on my PC, but on the desktop. So that is where I will save. But now there is here, it's written save as type. Hapa, una save as type. This is where you come and select the type. This is normally when you type in Microsoft Word, it comes as a Word document. So there is a PDF here. PDF iko hapa. Save as type inakupatia PDF option hapa. So you give the file name. For example, ilikuwa group work. I can give it the name group work. Then here, the type, save as type, I give it PDF. Then I say save. When I go to my desktop, let me minimize this so that you can see the desktop. When I go to my desktop, you will be able to see. There's here, group work. It's in PDF, this one. This one. So I can open it and can see it is in PDF. Having registration number. When I scroll down, it has memo. When I scroll down, it has application letter, and when I scroll down, it has the CV. So this is a PDF file. And there's a reason as to why we are insisting on PDF, because there's a way that they normally open. If it's a Word document, it gives us a headache. You see, it's written PDF. And unlike if it's written Microsoft Word document hapa. So next time you are given such an assignment, make sure it is a running document. Running document means it's only one that you need to upload, because when you have several, you try uploading one, ukienda ku upload ya pili, it will overwrite the one that was there. So it pushes it out. Okay, let me get back to people. Ona kuna mkono juu. Kiprotich, unmute. Timothy. Kiprotich, hauna swali. Wacha tuende kwa mwingine. Yes.
Hope you are getting me.
Yes.
I had a suggestion that
You had or
ya
you
Wi-Fi.
have? Wait. You had or you have?
I have.
Because these communication skills, you should know how to communicate. You say I have. When you say I had, that is past tense. Elisha. Yes.
Okay.
So that's yes. Give
I have
us
a
your
suggestion that
yes.
when it comes to internet, Wi-Fi at times inakuwa limited, so heri tu kaa hujakuwa access na internet inasumbua, mtu abuy data.
Yes. Nimekupatia
Thank you.
suggestion nzuri. If you know you have a problem with internet, especially when you come to school and you are crowding on one access point, in overheat, so it pushes out certain people. You can buy internet just for 10 bob, just that 30 minutes. Just 10 bob, you can just move without any problem. Thank you. Let me see someone here again. Nani ako na kitu ya kutuambia hapa? Robert Komba. Robert? Is this Robert or yeah? Okay, let's move to someone else and see. Someone is saying in YouTube, in the last cut, I saw some names in red color. What does it mean? In red color, kuja ABB 101. Mwenye anadai computer kujie. Yeah, those who are saying that you don't have a computer, it's good, especially for group work. And if it's needed, although the cards you will not need the computer, but we are just trying to help you at some point. If you're in group work, one of you can get a laptop. Silas Kipto anasema anauza laptop. Sir, can you remove the screen? Hapana, siwezi toa screen because I'm also checking what other people are contributing. Terian, unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hiyo yenye umetuonyesha ni ya laptop. Je, kwa simu sasa?
Yeah, kwa simu nilikuwa nawapatia tu option. There are some things that are too limited. The phone is too small that it might not handle certain things. Although some of you managed to use their phones, they know how to maneuver. They managed to use their phones and delivered as expected. So if you can do that again, it's okay. Most of your assignments, you'll realize you will be typing from the cyber. Hata simu huwezi type assignment. Simu unaweza fanya quiz tu ya multiple choice. But when you are given any assignment, your reports as you proceed, you will always be needed to use a laptop. So that one, you will be expected to do it from the cyber, or you look for a place where you can access a laptop. Again, on your questions, let me say this is kuna mtu alikuwa anasema haoni cut. Hatujui iko wapi. Benedict? Benedict? Unmute yourself. Huyo amekataa. We are addressing some of these challenges that you are having. You hata si lazima ukuje huku. That's why I'm asking for anyone question. Victor, this is S-born, eh? Unmute yourself. When you see any message on your phone, yes,
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Oh, S-born.
Excuse
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Yes. Last time I was using I buy bundles. I was not using Wi-Fi, but still was still taking time road to open the situation, so it took me time.
Unajua hujauliza swali, amesema tu it took him time, so we don't know what the question is. Let's see, who else has a question? I'm looking at those who have raised up their hands. There's this Benedict again, eh? Dennis. Dennis? No, Philip. Yes, Philip.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I had a question that I have tried to log in my portal so that I can find a quiz, but I'm not finding it. So I don't know how we shall get it.
First of all, I started by stating clearly, you don't say that I had. You say I have.
Yeah.
Because I had, that is the past tense.
Yeah.
So if you can't access the e-learning portal, you come to our office, ABB 101.
I'm able to access, but that part of the quiz, I'm not finding it.
No, you ask your friends, because your friends cannot locate it now. Ushindwe watakuonyesha. Just scroll your phone pole pole, you will get there. Because
Okay,
hata
sir.
mimi ukija sitakuonyesha iko kwa system.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me pick someone else. Ulikuwa na mtu hapa ametoroka. Huyu ni nani huyu? EDS/0101. Ako kwa room pale anatuonyesha net. Sijui ni nani huyu. Let's pick someone else. Okay, there's this Wilson Obere is saying that the file was too big. Yeah, of course we have limited our platform. Huwezi submit kitu yoyote. We've given 50 MB. 50 MB natosha hiyo kazi ulikuwa unafanya. Sijui nini mlikuwa mmeweka. Typing just text. 50 MB is enough. So tukiona unataka kupost vitu kubwa, we don't allow it. We normally limit. Okay, let me check for someone else. Mwenye mkono yake, muona mtu kama hapa Brittany. This Brittany, yeah? Brittany. Tuongeleshe. Brittany Atieno. Unmute. Okay, Brittany Atieno doesn't want to unmute. There's this one. We are trying to minimize the kutembea ukija huku. Kuna huyu anatumia Vivo V.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, I was admitted late and I didn't do the first cut. I don't know how it will affect my education.
Yeah, get it from the lecturer. He's here. You arrived late. He didn't say his name. Is Vivo. What's your name? Huh?
Dennis Kignetich.
Oh, Dennis.
Oh, Dennis Kignetich.
Yes.
I have said that the course is full of quizzes. Eh?
Yes.
They have only done one quiz and they're going to do up to the end of the course. So you missed the first one, but continue working on the others as they are open.
So meaning the first one will affect me?
it will affect you, but whose problem was that? Was it me or yours?
Okay.
So it will just be like that. Continue working on the other quizzes.
Okay. Okay. Talking about the submission of the work, how about if I take the handwritten and then I scan and send it as a PDF?
What if you take the handwritten and then?
I scan and then I send it as a PDF.
As a PDF, there's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to scan, for those who know how to use scanner, you can do it handwritten, you scan and you send it as PDF, it's okay. Tuna shida na hii itakuja kama PDF. Although I didn't want that option, but it's still okay.
Sawa.
Anyone else with a question? Let me see from the chat. And sir, the group task we did was not recorded as I checked on the e-learning portal. What could be? Yes, the lecturer said that one will not be recorded. It is for you to know each other, to mingle, mjuane na mjue kufanya kazi kwa pamoja. So amesema hiyo haitakuwa considered. How can I raise the hand on YouTube? We are seeing, Edith. The only problem is on YouTube, you cannot ask a question real time. Unaweza uliza tu kwa chat hivi. Unmute watu wa YouTube pia. Siwezi unmute YouTube. Tunaweza unmute nini peke yake. Tunaweza unmute Zoom peke yake. But we are attending to everyone. You can see I've opened YouTube. Sahii ndio hiyo naona tu hizo peke yake, so that we also deal with your concerns. Okay. Let me see someone else who is here with the hand raised. The hand raised. Jacobs Jack. Kono wako uko juu. Huyo alikuwa anajienjoy tu. Martin.
I hope you are getting me.
Yes.
My question is about the letter that you are typing. How do you sign it now? And the last question is about how to enroll in discussions like that one of fundamentals of computing. You see someone's posting discussions, but you cannot enroll and discuss. Kindly.
I think later you will need to have some technique yenye tunaita having a digital signature to weke hapo. If it's so hard, it wasn't a must you sign. You can even just put your initial. Ifika hapo kama uwezi sign na you have, you just put the initial just to show that you have signed. So you put the initial, if you say sincerely, you put the initial, then you unaweka jina chini yake. But if you can,
yes.
Yeah.
What about the discussion?
You are saying you are just doing it on behalf of others, so lazima usign. But you are only interested the lecturer was interested in the content and also the format. Na wale wenye wamesema wanaweza scan na simu, you can sign mwenyewe ukitumia mkono wako. Either way, but it wasn't a must. Let me see, Ambrose, you want to tell us something? Class ilisha, but we are sharing, especially ndio msikuje. Swali zingine tunaweza malizana na hapa. So that
Okay.
Yes.
There is some people, they don't have their groups.
There are some people to endelea.
Okay, there are some people are not in groups because some of the reasons are that they don't have the exact number that is required. So my question is that will they do as a person that assignment that has been given and submit?
we don't encourage that, and I really doubt if you can miss out to find your colleague so that you can get the number that is required. You know, when you come to a university, this is a diverse place that you need to associate with others. You need to move with others. Si ile hali ya kujifanyia vitu kwa fiche. And that is part of the communication skills. You need to know how to relate with others. You need to know how to communicate with others. Sidhani kama unaweza kosa group. Ukikosa sana, basi join ile yenye walikuwa wamefika 10, labda mfike 11. But that is not encouraged. But I doubt if you can miss out to get someone who doesn't have a group. You walk around. Sawa. Let me see, someone is saying, swali langu ni kwamba my portal declines its password when I'm trying to log in. Anything to do with login. Hiyo hatuwezi solve hapa. Hiyo ni physical. Ezra, unmute yourself. Ezra is nowhere to be seen. Alafu, kuna huyu Vivo. This lady here. Ametuwekea net pale nyuma, Vivo 23, na ameraise mkono. Ama to stop video kwanza, hiyo video yako sawa. EDA 0101.
Okay, sir.
Yes, ask your question.
When are we going to have our cut?
There is no cut. There is no particular day for cut for this particular unit. All the activities you are handling will culminate to the cut marks. So ukingoja tu watatangaza siku fulani kufanya cut, hapo ndio utapoteza. Kuna cut ya kwanza mlifanya activity ya 8 marks, hiyo imekuwa recorded. Kuna ingine lecturer amesema mtafanya on Thursday, hiyo itakuwa recorded. So zote zitarekodiwa, alafu wapate average out of 30. Na hiyo ndio itakuwa cut. So hakuna siku mtafanya cut moja kwa hii communication skills.
Okay,
For other
thank you.
units, so other units I don't know, but for communication skills hakuna cut moja. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. Advantage ni kuwa kama siku ya kwanza ungekuwa mgonjwa ama haungekuwa nini, ile marks kidogo umekuwa ukiaccumulate itakusaidia. Disadvantage is if you miss out any of these activities, inapunguza marks zako. Utapata ultimately at the end of. So hakuna siku ya mtu atakuja aseme ati mimi nilimiss cut. Hizi activities zote zenye unafanya, the marks will add up to the cut mark. Swali ingine, let me look at this other side. Exam week ni ngapi? Hiyo swali ni gani hilo? Inashindwa exam week ni ngapi? Let me see anyone else who has a question. Who has a question? I'm just addressing concerns only. Addressing concerns. Hebu nione hii chat ya huko ndani kuna nini? Okay, hey, when I check my portal I can't see fee payment. Mambo na fee payment hiyo enda ICT. Hapa ni e-learning. Enda ICT. Huko ndio una check bursary na hiyo mambo. Kwa portal yangu units niliregister confirm status is pending ICT. ICT. Shalin Gera ICT. Josephine Lucy ICT. Hello, my concern is about last lesson we had before strike where Dr. Irene said that the person with reg number this, you see her, the person came thrice but found the office closed. Can the person still come? Yeah, enda umuone sahi, Juliet Akinyi. Enda umuone kwa ofisi yake, ameenda huko sahi. I'm transformed for sure. Thank you, Doc. Okay, will the exam be online? No, all exams are physical. Please, I lost my password. Utakuja kwa ofisi. What's the significance of taking the cut for the second time? Cut hiyo sijaelewa. Sijaelewa. Sijaelewa hiyo, ikiulizwa vizuri labda nitapata. Kuna hapa James Omondi, unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir. I was asking if you know the library password.
What library?
Password.
Just go to the library. Not. Someone is asking, can I leave the lesson? Yeah, you can leave. You can leave.
Sijui but amesema library.
Lesson ilisha kitambo. We are just trying to address your concern, those who have issues. Hebu nione mwingine hapa. Why is it that some of us did the group work but it still shows that our mark is not yet? Okay, marks the group work hazikuwa uploaded, but the lecturer has them. If you need to check, unaweza enda kwake umuone ako nazo. I have a way to help those people using phones. Daniel Simiyu anasema he has a way to help. Unaweza mtafuta wala wanatumia simu. If anyone may need his or her work to be typed, I'm available. I can offer. Dickson Lihanda anasema ako na cyber at a lower price. Anajaribu kujimarket hapa. Okay. I think I'm ending this thing. Most of your concerns have been. What if I miss the first exam? Will I miss the marks? Automatically, Kiprono, Gideon. You miss the exam, hivyo ndio umeenda hivyo. Hivyo ndio umeenda hivyo. Utafanya when it's next offered. That is next year September. Si mtu ani hotspot, mimi sitaki kulive. Mbona mimi nikiingia Zoom inasema watu wametosho? Ukiingia late, our Zoom license only accommodates 1,000 students, participants. That is why we are providing the option of YouTube. So ukiingia late unapata kumeja, you just get to the YouTube. But everything is okay. Whether you are on YouTube or on Zoom, utasikia kitu lecturer anafunza. The only thing on YouTube is you cannot raise your hand to interact. But when you type your concerns, we still get them and we respond to them. What about those who changed the course and did the card using the old? If you changed the course and you did the card using the old registration number, you come, we update your details. Zitachukua hiyo card zikuwekee kwa new registration number. Tonic Simiyu. Irene, please, those who changed courses, will they be affected with the cards they had already? Hiyo nishaongea. You just come, we update your details, inasoma your new registration number, inasonga na card yenye ulifanya. That's why I was telling everyone, do the cut. Irrespective of wale walikuwa wanaongoja tu change kwanza, you just do the cut, hiyo marks itasonga nayo. Sasa hakuna quiz bado haijawekwa. Quiz iko, you should be able to see it right now. It's only that you cannot do it. Haiwezi funguka, but it's there. So you will wait till that particular time. Yvonne, KU1110 ilikataa kuenroll. KUC1120 hii ukuje kwa ofisi. We need to know if those units are being offered online. Any course that is not, you cannot enroll to it, unaweza kuja tuone na upande mwingine. Anything else? I think it's lunch time. Niache niende ni kule. What if you have not done the cut? Kama hujafanya haujafanya. Max haiwezi toka binguni. Kama hujafanya. Ati anaitwa Brandon Officials. Kama hujafanya cut hujafanya. Hauwezi pewa max ya kitu hujafanya. Kuna mtu ananiambia nijibu swali. Huyu ni nani huyu? Mtukutu Roy Kiprop. Let me see. Swali yenyewe iko wapi sioni? Roy Kiprop, Ndio huyo alisema nini? Alisalimiana tu, sijaona swali yake hapa. Sijaona swali yake. And you have to know that I will not answer, we cannot not answer all questions. You are more than 3,000. So when you type 3,000 of you at the same time, kuna zile zitanipita na zile zenye nitajaribu. We are just trying to sample. So I might not answer everything. So ukipata hujajibiwa hapa, our office is open. Don't even knock, just walk in. Whoever will find there will assist you. ABB 101. Mtu anauliza ICT office iko wapi? Mimi sijui. Alafu huu Samsung anamjibu ABB 101. ABB 101 sio ICT office. ABB 101 hiyo ni e-learning office hapa kwetu. ICT office sijui iko wapi. During orientation you met the ICT team, waliwaambia mahali wanapatikana. Hiyo sijibu. Hiyo sijibu. Mnaweza leta Google. Sijui ni nini. What if you came late? Hiyo lecture ameongea, let's go for lunch. Okay. I'm ending everything. Let's go for lunch, as someone has said. So I'm ending everything. Mtu mwenye ako huku, wacha ni end kila kitu. See you again next time. Next week, next time, same place. Tukutane huko. So, bye.